when airlines like Delta or American Airlines frantically rushed to buy new narrowbodies such as the Airbus A321XL and Boeing 737 MAX 10. United Airlines seems to behave like a miser. This Boeing 757, which has been out of production for 20 years, still forms part of its enormous fleet of 61 757s in 2026. The average age of these planes ranges from 27 to 30 years, far exceeding the typical retirement threshold for narrowbodies, which is usually between 20 and 25 years. While competitors flaunt fuel efficiency and low emissions, United clings to these fuel-guzzling machines. Could it be that the airline doesn't have the money to buy new planes? Nothing could be further from the truth. United has 50 Airbus 321XLs and up to Boeing 737 MAX 10s on order. This isn't about being stingy. It's a strategy hidden within a ruthless commercial game known as the terminal market gap. When it comes to numbers, capital calculus is merciless. To understand United's strategy, you first need to understand its network of long, thin transatlantic routes. United relies heavily on the 757 to fly from ETS, Newark and Washington. Hopes to say second-tier Europeans. These routes have enough manifold A787 widebody with hundreds of seats. Yet normal narrowbodies cannot cover them. This is where the 757 shows its unique advantage. High thrust-to-weight ratio and total performance under any condition. Pilots nickname it the sports car of the sky. Capable of taking off fully loaded with passengers and cargo, even at hot. High-altitude airports or short runways, crossing the Atlantic with ease. In comparison, the new planes everyone covets, like the MAX 10, are merely stretched versions of the 737, with limited takeoff performance and a range of only about 3,100 nautical miles, insufficient for Europe. The Airbus A321XLR, which supposedly can fly for 1,700 nautical miles, may have to leave luggage or cargo behind if fully fueled due to maximum takeoff weight restrictions, while new aircraft face certification delays, anti-ice system issues, and supply chain problems. The 757 remains the undisputed king for these routes, capable of carrying passengers, cargo, and fuel without compromise. But a new problem arises. The 757 consumes 25 to 30% more fuel than new aircraft. How is that expense offset? The answer lies in the capital cost advantage through depreciation. A new A321XL has a monthly lease of $500,000 to 60万美元, while United's 757s are fully depreciated, with no capital expense, even though they burn more fuel. There's no need to pay millions per month for the plane, lowering the break-even point on certain routes. As for high maintenance costs, United is clever, with 53 Boeing 767s in its fleet, sharing many parts with the 757. It applies a retired aircraft recycling strategy to extract engines and components with remaining life, drastically reducing the cost of major repairs and extending the lifespan of its planes. The secret behind United's 757 empire. If Part 1 showed how United clings to its Boeing 757s while the world buys new planes, now we see why this decision is a strategic masterpiece in modern aviation. First, it's important to understand that the 757 is no ordinary aircraft. It was designed to combine narrow-body efficiency with the power of a small widebody. With high thrust-to-weight and exceptional performance in any condition, the 757 can take off fully loaded at challenging airports with short runways or high altitudes, something modern planes simply cannot do without compromising cargo or passengers. That's why pilots call it the sports car of the sky. It's fast, agile, and reliable, making it indispensable for delicate transatlantic routes. United has identified an opportunity few in the industry see: second-tier routes to Europe, which don't have enough demand to fill a 787 nor are accessible by a modern narrow body. Here, the 757 becomes irreplaceable. Airlines that buy only new planes face a dilemma: either underutilize a large aircraft and lose money, or fail to cover the route due to range limitations. United, however, maximizes every flight with its 757 fleet. Another key factor is capital. The A321XLRs and 737 MAX 10s are expensive planes. A new A321XLR can cost $50,000, $60,000 in monthly leasing fees. In comparison, United's 757s are fully depreciated. This means they incur no monthly capital costs, and every profitable flight is practically net income after fuel and maintenance. Yes, the 757 burns more fuel, up to 25 to 30% more than modern aircraft, but the savings in lease and depreciation more than offset this expense. From a business perspective, the old plane becomes a low-cost, high-performance strategic asset. Moreover, United has been extremely savvy in maintenance. Owning a fleet of 53 Boeing 767s allows them to use compatible parts, engines, and components still with usable life, sourcing replacements at low cost. This drastically reduces the need for expensive overhauls, extending the 757's operational life far beyond what would normally be expected for planes of this age. It's a form of aerial industrial recycling, keeping the fleet operational without compromising safety or efficiency. United's strategy also reflects a deep understanding of the terminal market and marginal demand. Many airlines obsessed with fuel efficiency purchase planes that are too large or too new for certain routes. The result: underutilized flights, non-competitive fares, and lost potential revenue. United, on the other hand, leverages the 757's perfect capacity for these routes, a plane that can fly full, carry complete cargo, and reach destinations others cannot. Of course, the 757 has limits. It's not efficient for ultra-long or heavily congested routes, where larger modern planes dominate. But United has optimized its route network to make the most of the aircraft. From Newark and Washington to mid-sized European cities, the 757 rules. And while new planes face certification delays, supply issues and maximum takeoff weight restrictions, the old 757 continues operating without interruption, ensuring stable, predictable revenue. This strategy also has psychological and branding effects. Frequent flyers on these routes know United delivers reliability where others cannot. Internally, pilots value the 757 for its predictable performance and raw power, reducing operational risks on challenging routes. In other words, the old plane is not only profitable, it's a competitive and reputational tool. Another interesting element is how this strategy enhances United's resilience during crises. In times of uncertainty, when new planes are delayed or demand fluctuates, having immediately deployable capacity without capital burden allows the airline to adapt quickly. They can relocate 757s where most needed, maintain flight frequency, and protect strategic routes without relying on new deliveries. This is an operational and financial shield few airlines possess. Finally, there's the question of economic sustainability. The 757, although thirstier for fuel, is an example of extreme capital efficiency. Every dollar invested has already been amortized, and each flight generates direct net income. In an industry where airlines compete on thin margins, this advantage is decisive. While others struggle to balance leasing, maintenance, and fuel costs, United enjoys a fleet that produces immediate profit and, at the same time, offers capabilities no new aircraft can currently match. In short, the Boeing 757 is not just an old plane. It's a strategy in action. United has achieved a balance that combines unique capability, controlled costs, and operational resilience, while the rest of the market chases new planes, delays, and financial commitments. It's an example of how vision, market analysis, and smart asset management can turn an obsolete planer into a competitive weapon. United 757 demonstrates that in aviation, sometimes what seems old and costly is not a problem, but the key to dominating the transatlantic skies. In the end, the logic is clear. For routes where per-seat fuel efficiency is the priority, the A321neo and the MAX series are like energy-saving hybrid cars. But for United, which needs raw power to fill the gap between wide-body and narrow-body, what matters is an American muscle car with no capital payments, ready to generate immediate revenue. In a period where A321XLR deliveries are delayed and the 737 AX-10 has yet to receive certification, having immediate capacity with no capital burden is the advantage that allows the airline to remain unbeatable in fierce competition.